Then overnight, you reported that the president wants to see more than just a minerals deal in order to reinstate military aid and intelligence sharing. What do you know?
Yeah, that's right. So on NATO, it's not just about Article 5 that the president is considering. There's a consideration by the Trump administration for a full change in how the U.S. supports NATO going forward. So basically, they would potentially calibrate their support going forward to the countries that pay enough in their defense spending. So NATO for the past decade or so has said 2% of a country's GDP should go to defense. The Trump administration came in and they said, we want that to be 5%. For the record, the U.S. pays about 3.9%. So the U.S. is not at that level. But some countries are stepping up. Lithuania has already pledged to make 5%. But if these countries do not meet this new threshold, the Trump administration may pull troops out of their countries. They may not participate in exercises with them. It comes as we also learned that some of these close U.S. allies, the closest U.S. allies in intelligence sharing, are considering scaling back some of their sharing. And at issue is they are very concerned about what they see as a more conciliatory tone towards Russia. And they are worried that that could expose some of their foreign assets. And that's sacrosanct, of course, in the intelligence world.
Article 5 was invoked where other countries had to come to the aid of a NATO ally was the United States after 9/11.
I'm glad you raised that.
In the clip you played after that, he says, I don't know if they'd come to our defense, but they have. And so I do think that's why so many people are so distressed, if you will, in the national security community about what they're hearing from the president and this administration.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.